Good day, everyone. My name is Rob Felix, and I'm with CMICB, and we're going to be talking about advancing your career with the CMCA designation. We want to talk about learning all the required prerequisites, how to apply for the CMCA exam, and how earning the CMCA credential can help you take your career to the next level. As a form of introduction, I am a Regional Vice President with Associa in California. I've been a CMCA from pretty much the onset. I've served on the CAM-ICB board and have other designations. And with me today is Sarah Daginski. Sarah?
Good morning, everyone. We're so happy that you're able to join us on this beautiful day. My name is Sarah Daginski. I'm the Director of Credentialing Services at CAM-ICB. I've been with CAM-ICB for almost 10 years. And we're really excited to introduce the Certified Manager of Community Associations credential to you today. So with that, we're going to get started with some housekeeping notes. Let me get into that slide. So you guys, the participants will be muted throughout the presentation today. It'll just be a quick 20-minute presentation, and we'll leave 10 minutes for question and answers at the end. If you do have a question during the presentation, just please type it into the chat feature and we will get to as many as we can. We are recording the questions so I can take it offline and answer your questions later on throughout the rest of this week. Also, I want to let you guys know that the slide deck will be emailed to all of you after the webinar is completed. So with that, I'll let Rob take it away.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, we're talking about the CMCA designation, which we label as the essential credential. Currently, we have in excess of 17,000 CMCAs throughout the world, and it is now being recognized in many countries. And so today we're going to focus on what the CMCA is and how it can help advance your career. The Certified Manager of Community Associations, CMCA, credential is key to building a successful career in the community association management field, and it signifies to employers that you're competent in specific management practices, that you're committed to professional excellence, that you adhere to ethical business standards, and that you are involved in continuing education. And employers are always on the lookout for dedicated professionals, and the CMCA certification after your name can oftentimes make the difference between whether or not you get that all-important first interview or whether you actually get the job. And the CMCA credential is highly accessible. It can be achieved with a minimal investment of time and money on your part, and it takes just a few days of prerequisite coursework, one day for an exam and some time for some study in between in order to achieve it. It is a relatively low cost, and it is a great investment in your future. Obtaining the CMCA credential is a great first step in building your professional expertise and image in the community association industry, and it opens the doors to earning additional credentials and higher earnings in your career. On an average, 18% more earnings for than a non-credentialed community association manager is what you'll find in the salary survey that was put out by CAI, the Community Associations Institute. And there will be a reference to that survey just a little later on. So when we look at our career from a perspective of engagement, I've been involved, for instance, in this industry since 1980, and the credential didn't come along until later on. And so battling through being a professional in our industry and understanding how our clients would understand how we achieve our body of knowledge is really important. And the CMCA provides that. So the job prospects in the field of community association management are excellent nowadays. According to CAI and their compensation and salary survey, it's estimated that between 24 and 26% of all residential ownership housing is in one of three basic types of community associations: planned unit development, condominium, co-op. And many new job opportunities will open for those interested in the field, while others will arise from the need to replace community association managers who transfer out of the industry, retire, leave the field, transfer to other opportunities within the industry. As of May 2016, the median annual wage for community association managers was just over $57,000 a year. Employment in the industry is projected to grow at least 8% between 2014 and 2024, and all of that information can be found from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And so we have to ask ourselves, is this the right career path for you? This may be an excellent career choice for you if you have a strong interest in working for community associations by providing management activities that our clients need to keep residents satisfied. And as a certified manager, you should have a thorough knowledge of the policies of the community association you hope to work for and state laws that encumber them. Attention to detail, flexibility, good organizational skills, patience are all essential characteristics that good community association managers must possess. And community association managers must also have excellent interpersonal skills to be able to effectively communicate to a diverse range of people and be able to deal with a variety of unrelated tasks at once. It is pretty common in our industry that the best formal education you can have as a community association manager is a degree in psychology, because working with people is the utmost in our industry. So what's the benefits of being on this career path? The best part of life as a community association manager are also built into the job itself. Not only do you earn a decent living, but you are constantly learning new things, meeting interesting people from all walks of life. One of my board presidents was the guy who ran the Army of the United States, General John Wickham, a wonderful man who I would have never have otherwise met except for this job. And the odds of becoming bored on this job are pretty slim. There are just too many different and interesting things to do, and it is the ultimate in multitasking for sure. That said, community association management is not for everyone. If you prefer a more laid-back work life with fixed hours and minimal or no job-related stress, you probably want to think about a different career path. But if you're a real person who gets excited about staying up to date on frequent community management regulatory changes happening in various states, possess positive and enthusiastic attitude towards life, if you can keep your wits about you when others around you are stressed and passionate about their castle, you can't ask for a more engaging and stimulating career. Becoming a certified manager for community associations is not merely a certification. It can be a journey. It can be a lifetime. I've been in this again since 1980. I've had 37 years of interacting with people, and it has afforded me great opportunities. It elevates your credibility as a community manager and makes employers more confident in hiring you when you're able to show them that you're a CMCA. And finally, being a certified manager offers you a wealth of opportunity and stability, growth in an exciting career that shows no sign of slowing down. So let's talk about how we get the CMCA. How do we become certified? And there's really a three-step process. So community managers that are interested in obtaining the CMCA certification can achieve it by doing the following three things. First of all, you have to qualify. And to qualify, we look at education, experience, and whether you have an additional license or credential. So the first one, education. You have to complete and pass one prerequisite course on community association management. As an example, the Community Associations Institute offers the M100, CAI's M100, which is the essentials of community association management. This course currently costs $559 if you're not a member of CAI, and if you're a member, it costs $459. It's a course that takes 2.5 days. It has a multiple choice exam that's given at the end that you have to successfully pass. And that's the education. And there are a few other small educational opportunities that you can check with CAMICB to determine if it meets the criteria. And those are scattered throughout the states. The second way to achieve the opportunity to take the CMCA exam is to have some experience. You have to have at least 5 years of experience as a community association manager. And if you do, then you can receive a one-time waiver. You can receive a one-time waiver for the prerequisite course for taking the M100. The experience that you have must be as a community association manager. It can't be as an assistant manager or an accountant or other affiliate positions. It has to be as a direct community association manager. Now, if you take the exam underneath this experience option and you fail it, then you'll be required to take the prerequisite course prior to retaking the exam. Now, the third way to compete or to be able to qualify to take the exam is to already be licensed or credentialed. So, for instance, we have Arizona. If you have a CAAM, you can qualify to take the CMCA exam. In California, you can have the CCAM designation that will qualify you. And in Florida and Nevada, if you have a CAM license, then you are qualified to take the CMCA exam. Once you complete step 1, then for step 2, you actually have to submit an online application to CAMICB, and you'll find that on the website camicb.org. So you need to submit that application, and that completes step 2. And finally, step 3 is actually passing the exam. The cost of the exam is $300, and it is a 3-hour, 120-question multiple choice exam that will test you on a variety of areas like governance, legal issues, budgets, reserves, financial controls for community associations, contracting, maintenance, and above all, ethics. And ethics is a big part of our industry.
And I'd like to expand a little bit on that step 3, if you don't mind, Rob.
Sure. No,
it says successfully pass the CMCA examination. Now, that's on you, but CAMICB has developed a number of exam preparation tools to help you do that. So in addition to taking possibly an education course, we provide a full study guide that has a practice exam included in it. We have our CMCA handbook that outlines the examination blueprint. It'll give you information on the knowledge, skills, and abilities that are actually tested on the examination. We provide free best practice reports. We also link you to CAI's guides for association practitioners, and those can be purchased in some of the areas that Rob discussed, like budgets, reserves, contracting, to sort of educate yourself on those areas. We also do have, in addition to the practice exam and the study guide, we offer an additional practice exam online to help you get an idea of the look and feel of the examination questions. A lot of people get test anxiety, and our study guide includes ways to sort of counteract that and help you feel comfortable going in on the day of your examination.
Excellent clarification. Thanks, Sarah.
Of course.
The exam is also developed by a partner with CAMICB called HMRO. It is a national exam development company that's located back east, and it works with volunteers in our industry to identify the areas that an individual must need to know in order to be able to be just qualified to be able to manage community associations. And so what we would encourage you to do is to get your career started, and we would encourage you on this slide to go to www.camicb.org/get-certified. This is a process that will not take you very long to go through, but we would encourage you to be forthright in this. Again, we have in excess of 17,000 certified managers in the country, around the world right now, in countries as far away as Dubai and South Africa, Australia. Canada, and Mexico. And so this is becoming a greater and greater opportunity for people to understand that this is a way to accelerate your career and become identified as a professional going forward. So we want to take the time to thank you for today. We wish you the best in your career as a community association manager. And so we have some time now for questions. And so I'm going to turn it back over to Sarah to respond to questions that may have been submitted on the chat box that's on the webinar. And if you have any questions that are following the webinar, please email them to CAMICB at info@camicb.org. So Sarah, do you have any questions that have come up?
I do. So one of the questions that came up is about maintaining your credential, which is a really important question. I know as a professional, we've just given you the information on how to get the CMCA, but some of you want to know, how do you maintain the credential? So you are required to recertify every 2 years, and what that means is you have to get 16 hours of continuing education every 2 years, and every year you pay a maintenance fee of $105. Now, the continuing education can be in many areas. You know, what is of interest to you? What are you dealing with in your life? That, you know, do you need Spanish because your community speaks Spanish? Do you need some information about pool regulations? Are you having issues with mold in your community? It's really a broad and diverse subject areas that you can get your education in. Also, currently we have over 200 course providers available, and many of their classes are free. So it's not expensive to maintain the CMCA. We just want to make sure that you're, you know, brushing up on the best management practices currently in the industry.
Sarah, I might add to that as well.
Yeah, please do.
Let me add to that as well. If you have a certification in one of the states, if you have other designations through CAI, getting continuing education generally applies to all of those. So we're not asking for you to get additional education if you have one of those certifications. All of the education that you need to continue for continuing education for each of those applies to the CMCA.
Exactly. So I do have another question here. Is the CMCA test a pass-fail exam? Yes, it is. It's a pass or fail. And you are allowed to retake it as many times as necessary in order to achieve success. You do have to pay for each of the retakes, and those are $250 a piece. The other thing I wanted to add is there are 2 ways to take the CMCA examination. We offer 6 administrations of the paper and pencil exam, where you would physically go to a location, sit down, and take the examination using like a Scantron sheet with paper and pencil. We also have partnered with a testing service called Pearson VUE. They're all over the world, and that's our computer-based testing model. So you would physically go to a Pearson VUE location, and you would sit and take the examination on the computer. The major difference between those two, other than that one is paper and pencil and one is computer, is the computer-based offers instant results. So you'll know that day whether you have passed or failed. The paper and pencil examination takes about 6 to 8 weeks to provide you a pass-fail letter. So I've got another question here. It says, how do I get study materials and the practice exam? And that's a great question. So on our website, www.camicb.org, we have an exam preparation page, and that lists all of the study materials that you can download for free, and it also links to the practice examination. And you can always email us and request it. Our general email is info@camicb.org. Okay, let's see what else we got. You guys keep the questions coming. Another question about the practice exam. So there are 2. We have one that's attached to the study guide. It's a paper and pencil model. And then we also have an online version. And the best thing about the online version of the practice exam is it will give you the correct answer, or if you accidentally selected the wrong answer, it'll tell you why it's incorrect. And now all of these questions have rotated off the examination, so you won't be seeing them on the examination, but they're still going to tackle the body of knowledge that is present on the exam. Okay, we've got another question here, and it says, is there a time frame of when you are able to take the CMCA examination after passing the M100? And the answer to that is no. If you've taken the M100 in the last year, 5 years, whatever it may be, so long as you've successfully passed the M100, you are eligible to apply and sit for the examination. So once you've been approved to sit for the examination, we give you, if you want to take the computer-based exam, we give you 1 year to sit for that exam. So we encourage individuals to study for 4 to 6 months and then sit for the exam. Let me find another question for you guys. It says, would you recommend taking any of CAI's M200 level classes in addition to the M100? So in my professional experience, that's not necessary. If you've taken the M100, you've met the eligibility requirements to sit for the CMCA examination. However, I will say that the M100 is not a preparatory course for the examination. You will need to sit down and take a look at the whole suite of study materials. And what I like to tell people is take one of those practice exams and, score yourself. If you haven't done well in a particular area, focus on that. Buy one of the guides for the association practitioners, download the best practice report and really focus on that area. And if you feel you've done that and you still don't feel comfortable, then yeah, maybe taking an additional course in that subject matter would be something that is best for you. So I've got another question here that says, can we take the test at home? And the answer to that, I've sort of covered it, but it is no. To preserve the integrity of the examination, you must go to a secured facility, whether that's to take it via paper and pencil or computer-based. Okay, so we've got a question from somebody about if you've already passed the prerequisite, one of them, whether that be the educational course, whether you're using the experience waiver, or you've got a license in a different state that we accept, how do you schedule the examination? So the process is, after you establish your eligibility, you apply for the examination, we send you what's called an authorization to test. And that gives you very specific information on how to contact either your paper and pencil proctor or Pearson VUE, our computer-based test provider, to set up a date and time to sit for the examination. Okay, so somebody also asked about key terms. So I'm really excited about that. So our examination blueprint outlines key terms that are necessary to be successful on the examination. We're currently developing a flashcard set to help individuals study, and we'll be pushing that out at the beginning of this new year. But as it stands, the key definitions and terms are listed in the CMCA handbook. I've also got a question here about, does the exam cover laws? So I'm actually going to put that over to Rob, because Rob is one of our subject matter experts. So he's been the sort of our chief item writer, which means he develops the examination questions, and he's been doing it for, what, 20 years, Rob?
Yeah, something like that. Probably way too long.
Yeah.
So the CMCA exam currently does not test for state-specific laws, other than those for which we prepared a special addendum to the exam. So for the state of Colorado, for instance, there is a state portion which has not yet been accepted by the Department of Regulatory Agencies there for approval. They have their own state portion of the exam. So you may find where a state has licensing that you have to take the CMCA exam, which may qualify for a portion of their general knowledge requirement, and then you might have to take a state-specific portion of the exam. But it does deal, the exam does deal, and you'll see this in the study material and on the practice exams. It does deal with general federal laws that apply to our industry and general state laws that apply in a general sense to overseeing practice within states in a general term, but nothing state specific. at this point. We have the ability to write state-specific exams, but they have to be accepted by each particular state at this point in time.
Thanks for covering that, Rob. I've got another question from a participant that asks, if you move to another state, do you have to take the exam again? And the answer to that is no. The CMCA is recognized internationally and it's portable. You can go to any state and practice with it. Okay, let's see what else we've got for questions here. Okay. We've got a question for us to list the examination preparation materials, and I can definitely do that. We can send that out to all of the participants here so you know what you need in order to be successful on the examination. But other than that, it looks like I have answered all of your questions. But we just got one and it says, where are the exam centers? So we offer the paper and pencil, like I said, 6 times a year. Our application lists the cities that we hold the examination in. They're the major United States cities. If you are in a location and you're a little further away from one of those listed cities, please just give us a call or an email and let us know where you are, and we'll try to accommodate you as best we can. You know, we often can find libraries or different proctors to do the examination in smaller cities or cities that we don't regularly offer the paper and pencil exam. For the computer-based examination, Pearson VUE has thousands of centers all over the world. And what we do is we have a feature on our website where you can click on the Pearson VUE website, type in your zip code, and see what's nearest to you. And in my experience, you know, people don't have to travel more than 30 minutes or so to get to a Pearson VUE site wherever they are. We've got a question about the experience. So as Rob mentioned, you do need 5 years of experience as a community association manager if you're going to use that waiver as your eligibility to sit for the examination. So the caveat to that is if you do not pass the CMCA examination on your first try, we do require that you go back and take one of our educational prerequisite courses, and then you can sit for a retake of the examination. We've got a question about the application approval time. It takes our staff approximately 7 to 10 days to approve your application. If you're in some kind of a time crunch, we're always going to take your phone call. We're always willing to work with you. You know, we're in the business of helping you get your CMCA. So if you've got study questions or application questions, our staff is always ready to assist you. The last question that I'll take here is there a more recent salary survey? So the salary survey information that Rob was giving you was from 2013 by Community Associations Institute CAI. They're working on compiling one currently, and it should be out in the new year. But we don't expect there to be any major changes. As you know, Rob said, it's been consistent for many years that credentialed managers, they just make more in this field than non-credentialed managers. So with that, I want to thank everyone for coming. Again, I want to encourage you to take a look at our website. If you have any questions, my staff is always happy to take phone calls, emails, whatever you need. My personal information, Rob's information will be emailed out to you, and we're happy to get you on this pathway to success and in this career field and getting your CMCA. So thank you everyone for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone, and we wish you the best in your career. Take care. Have a great day.
Take care.